Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. I have been solving math problems for GMAT out of this book here, the GMAT Review, the official guide. If you do not have this book, purchase one immediately. You will find it at mba.com. The problem that I'm about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 173, problem solving 156. Let's take a look at it. It says a tank contains 10,000 gallons of solution that is 5% sodium chloride. Alright, so 5% sodium chloride by volume. So we have 10,000 gallons, of which 5% is sodium chloride. I hope though, I remember sodium is Na. I don't know chloride. I'm going by my memory of the chemistry that I learned more than 30 years ago as a schoolboy, many moons ago. Anyway, so I hope this is right. It doesn't really matter. Just write down sodium chloride. So 5% is sodium chloride. Let's find out what 5% of 10,000 is. I know that 10%, 5% is sodium chloride. So 10% of 10,000, I know is 1/10 of that. 10% of 10,000 should be 1/10 of 10,000, which is 1,000. Therefore, 5% should be 500. Don't waste your time sitting there. I've seen people wasting their time sitting there going like this, 0.05 and multiplying, and oh my god, what a waste of time. Don't do that. Just think logically. 10% of 10,000 is 1,000 because the 10% is 10th of 10,000. 10th of 10,000 is 1,000. Therefore, 5% should be 500. Half of 1,000. That's all. Don't waste your time. So I know that we have 500 gallons of sodium chloride. And then I'm told, let's see, what are we told then? Then we are told that 2,500 gallons of water evaporates from the tank. If 2,500 gallons evaporate, how much are we left with? If we originally started out with 10,000 gallons and 2,500 evaporate, we are left with 7,500 gallons. And they're simply looking for, I think, the concentration at the end. The remaining solution will be approximately what percentage sodium chloride? That's right. They're only looking for the concentration of the solution, concentration of sodium chloride in the water after the evaporation. So this amount as a percentage, you multiply it by 100, and that's what you're looking for. But before I do all this mumbo jumbo, let me quickly look at the answer choices, see what we can do. Because they always give you, well, I should say always, because there's two strong of statement. Almost always they give you at least one or two answer choices, which are just absolute nonsense. They make no sense. For example, here, I know that we are starting out with 5%, and then some water is evaporating. It doesn't matter how much water is evaporating. Even if just 1 gallon of water evaporates, the concentration of the solution is going to be more than the original concentration that we started out with, which was 5%. Here, a quarter of the water is evaporated, which means at the end, the concentration of the solution has to be more than 5%. Let's see what I can do with that intuition, that instinct that I have. My intuition tells me that the correct answer, well, intuition is actually too soft a word. Intuition probably here is too weak a word. My logic tells me, my logical thinking, my rationale tells me that the concentration of the sodium chloride in the solution has to be more than 5% because some water evaporated. There you go. A and B are nonsense. These are silly. A says 1.25%. B says 3.75%. Those are nonsensical choices. E is also nonsense. It's too large. How do I know right away without doing any work that is too large? Listen, if you started out with some amount of water, whatever the amount of water is, and half the water evaporated, if half of that water evaporated, then the concentration of sodium chloride, or for that matter, whatever it is that you put in the water, the concentration of that compound will be twice as much because half the water evaporated. Think of a drink that you might make, martini, whatever it is that if you make something, and if you put vodka in orange juice, if half the orange juice, if you use half as much orange juice, the concentration of the alcohol will be twice as much. Same thing here. If half the water evaporated from the water, If the half the water evaporated from the swimming pool, the concentration of the solution would go from 5% to 10%. Half the water did not evaporate here. Here, only 1/4 of the water evaporated. So the concentration couldn't possibly be more than 10%. This is 11%. This is nonsense. Answer is either 6. What is C says? 6 and a. Answer is either 6.25% or 6 2/3%. I'm just telling you the kind of logic, kind of thinking that went through my mind when I did this problem for the very first time. I did not do out this classical work. I was just thinking in my mind, that's all. I know it takes a long time to explain things, but I'm just telling you what went through my mind. Let me quickly look at the camera here. I'm already 6 minutes into it, so I want to wrap it up. The next thing that I did is, instead of figuring all this out, I just took 75. And I multiplied by 6. Why 6? Because I know we are somewhere around 6%. All I'm trying to figure out is, are we closer to 6 2/4 or are we closer to 6 1/4? Or are we closer to 6 2/3 or are we closer to 6 1/4? That's what I'm trying to figure out. So I took this 75 and I multiplied by 6. 6 times 5 is 30, which is 3. 7 times 6 is 42, plus 3 is 45. That tells me that 450 gallon is exactly 6%. 450 gallons is exactly 6% of solutions. If I were to add another 45 to it, another 45 will represent 1/10 of this percent. That 495 is exactly 6.6%. That's what I gather. And if you can't do all of this thinking, which is fine. If you cannot think like this in the exam, if it's taking you too long, don't worry about it. Just do it out and figure it out. But that 495 is exactly 6.6%. Therefore, the answer is D. Because we do not have 495, we have actually 500. So the correct answer is going to be slightly more than 6.6%. Let's do it out. Enough said. So 500 out of 7,500, I multiplied by 100 because we are finding a percentage. So these 2 zeros cancel out with this 2 zero. 75 goes into 25 3 times, and 100 goes into 20 times 4 times. So I have 5 times 4, which is 20. On the top, 5 times 4. In the bottom, I have 3. 20 divided by 3. I know that 18 divided by 3 is 6. With a leftover of 2, so it's 6 2/3. You see? Voila. 6 2/3. The answer is D. That's all. I hope you found this helpful. If you wish to purchase my DVDs, in which I show you the solutions to all the math problems in this book, or if you wish to hire me for personal private tutoring, in either case, go to my website at www.prep4GMAT.com and send me an email. Alright? Thank you.